The following is not a compilation of car crashes. I'll admit, I can get deep into a Neanderthal session of me like crash videos, but that's not what this is. The intention of calling out these stupid driving moves, in the biggest picture, is to prevent accidents. November 7th of 2020 marked 20 years of consecutive daily deaths on the roads in Texas. According to TxDOT, that's, quote, over 70,000 innocent lives lost to preventable crashes. Did you hear that? Preventable. In 2019, 21 people were killed on the roads in Bexar County. There's some ass right now saying to himself, that's not a lot, but I'm pretty sure there's at least 21 families that would agree with me when I say, that's 21 too many. These videos are calling out just some of the ways accidents can be prevented. It might entertain some, and I see nothing wrong with that, but it might teach a driver what not to do on the roads. And that is what matters to me. One more thing, I do owe a shout out to Garfield with Issues, who became the 50th subscriber for this channel. To be honest, I was going to give a shout out to the 100th and 150th, but those numbers came and went so quickly I wasn't able to track them. I apologize. Having said that, I really like to thank all of the subscribers. I appreciate the support and I appreciate that you appreciated the videos enough to subscribe. Now, if anyone's still watching, enjoy the video. Welcome to driving an SATX. There are stupid driving moves just waiting to be called out. I'm diving right in. Here we are at the intersection of Eisenhower and Harry Wurzbach. There's quite a bit of construction right now as they're working on a way to make the intersection of Harry Wurzbach and Austin Highway interchangeable. It's hard to explain, but either way, the present state of the intersection may cause some confusion. For example, take a look at this driver. This driver's on Harry Wurzbach, but on a part of it that actually runs parallel to itself. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but they ultimately want to get from this road onto this road, going that way. The driver is first confused with my presence. They don't have a light, but a stop sign, and the driver is not sure how to treat me, who is sitting at this red light. At this point, I imagine it was not going to try and race me out of the green light, so it backs up a bit. Now, I'd like to point out the traffic that's crossing right now. See, this road over here, Harry Wurzbach, is normally divided by a grassy median. However, due to the construction, you can see that the northbound side is barricaded, and the cars that are headed northbound are diverted to this half of the oncoming lane, just as these vehicles are doing now. Now, I don't know about you, but if I come to an intersection that looks confusing to me, I take a good look at the signs, and I also watch to see where all the other cars are going. That's usually a good indicator of where I will need to go. This driver didn't do that. Not only that, we waited here so long, this driver forgot that they backed up because they didn't want to race me out of the green light. When our light finally turns green, the driver awkwardly jumps out ahead of me, then passes the lane they need to go northbound and drives directly into these barricades. Some lights are not timed very well by TxDOT, and this can be frustrating. But what's worse is sometimes it causes the selfish little bitches out here on the road to expose themselves as just that. Notice as I sit at this red light, you can see right in here the headlights of the oncoming traffic. They just got a green light, and you can see the cars that are turning start to make their way through the intersection. Now, as I mentioned, the timing that was set up here is horrible. So the green light they have is cut very short, and after two cars pass through, we get a green light, which means they either get a red light or at the very least, a yellow arrow that indicates they now have to yield to this traffic here. But watch as two more cars continue through here just because their time is more valuable than anyone else out here. As a result of this, the traffic in my lane had to wait for them to clear, using up most of our green light, forcing us to sit here and wait through another cycle. Don't drive around with the mindset of a child, and if that's the only mindset you have, don't drive. Driving is for big boys and girls. You aren't big enough yet. On this day, as you can see, I'm entering the highway. I need to get on and then move over 2 lanes. I need to get out of this first lane because it's an exit only now. And then I need to get through the next lane because that lane is going to 410 when I need to take 35 south. At this point, I have my blinker on to get over, but the car in the next lane decides not to slow down and let me in, but to keep pace right next to me, blocking me from moving over. No biggie, I can slow down just a bit and move over in the space behind the car. Then I'm able to move over again to get out of the way of the traffic that needs to take 410. Then this happens. Seriously? Now, if you don't see what bothered me here, I can explain. But to do so, I have to back it up to here. In this frame, you can see a few things. First, you can see on the signs that are bigger than double the size of our cars, that cars have the option of 3 lanes to take 35, but can only use 2 lanes to take 410. This lane giving the option for both. Second, you can see that in this part of the highway, there's an entrance followed immediately by an exit and then the ramp to 410. This means there's going to be quite a bit of movement back and forth here as cars try to position themselves to get where they need to be. And finally, we can see that there are no cars in this lane over here. The point is, with everything that's at stake as we maneuver around each other at speeds of 60 miles an hour and faster, awareness is very important. If you know damn good and well you need to take one of these lanes, and all these cars are over here, and some of them are trying to get this way, and other cars are trying to get that way, Why on earth would you sit in the middle of all this just to cruise through it? Learn to be considerate and learn to avoid traffic that you have no business being in. It's come to my attention that there are drivers out here that truly believe we're on some kind of point system and you can only gain points by being a selfish Here's a good example with this Tundra here. This Tundra has decided, for whatever reason, to ride in the far right lane. The thing about the far right lane is that the cars that are entering the highway have no choice but to enter using this lane. It's not like they have some other option, and they do not have a holding area to wait for a clearing. They need to get in, and they need to keep it moving. That is what this vehicle is currently trying to do. As you can see, it has already activated the blinker to let other drivers know its intentions of coming over. Now, I was able to see that blinker from my position back here. I have no doubt in my mind that the driver of this Tundra could see that blinker. This is the point when the driver of the Tundra should slow down and give some space for the car to get in. As you can see from the lack of brake lights, the driver isn't making much of an effort to allow space to get in. Now it seems the truck is allowing a little room, but not much, and still isn't doing much to slow down to create enough room. As the entering vehicle, now running out of time, now running out of lane, starts to speed up to squeeze into the space that's there, and I could be wrong, but it really does look like the Tundra decides to speed up just a little as if not to allow the car to get in, just before having to hit the brakes because the car is getting in. Now, I'd really like to know, what's the point of this? What does one gain from this? Do you honestly go home and brag to your family at the dinner table about how many people you did not allow into your lane today? Is there a hall of fame where people are recognized for this? Because it's really, really stupid. Two things that I've stressed in these videos is the importance of observing the signs and the importance of looking to see what lies ahead to make better, safer decisions while driving. If you don't do either one of these, you're a major part of the problem on the roads. Example, as I'm exiting the highway here, you can see that the exit is made up of 2 lanes. As we move ahead, any driver that reads signs can see this lane is going to end and there's a need to merge right. Again, for those of you who did not get this, based on my experiences, there are a bunch. Merge right means you need to get your ass to the right. It does not mean prepare for the right lane to come to you. I need to be clear about that because too many people are up out here. Now, this Mitsubishi either did not see the sign, ignored the sign, or saw the sign and has the opposite concept of what merging right is, or saw the sign and has no idea what it meant. Because if they knew the lane was ending, they'd use this perfect opportunity to get out of the lane and move over to get around this car, as they're clearly in a bit of a hurry. As they pass the second sign, they're now at a point where they can see plain as day that the lane is ending. Do they make a move? Come on now, that would just make too much sense. They ride the curb and hit the brakes all the way to where the lane comes together and is now stuck behind this car, not being able to move over right away because there's also a car in this lane now. It doesn't have to be like this. There's a better way. Again, stressing the importance of observing signs and looking ahead, it all ties into paying attention. And looking at your phone while in the driver's seat of your car is the absolute opposite of paying attention. It explains why a lot of signs are missed and why people don't react to things on the road until the last minute, or in some cases, until it's too late. Now, I don't care who you are or how good you think you are at driving while looking at your phone. Shut the hell up. Don't look at your phone while in the driver's seat of your car. Even if you're at a light and you constantly look up to make sure you don't miss the light, you're still a problem. You're still distracted, you can still get a fine, and you can still cause an accident. And if you do get a fine, you deserve it. Why anyone would risk this is just something I will never get, and now I've had enough for today. Thanks for watching. If you feel the same way about these stupid driving moves, hit like and subscribe. Also, feel free to comment what side of town you see the worst drivers in SATX. It doesn't have to be a competition, but these stupid drivers are out there competing anyway.